Of course, I'm acquainted with the destruction that can be wrought by solid shot, exploding shot, canister. I know what that can do to flesh and blood and bones, and I'm somewhat familiar with the triangular wound of a bayonet. I'm somewhat familiar with the slashing destruction caused by swords of all manner. But these were not really weapons of mass destruction in the Civil War. No, my friends, I am here to talk to you more about the destruction wrought by a .58 caliber Springfield rifle. Now, as you may know, the Springfield rifle revolutionized the way we kill each other in record numbers in this war. The conical-shaped bullet of the Minié ball, which is fitting in the rifling of the barrel, hurtling out at 900 feet per second with a spin on it. Its accuracy is dreadful and deadly. My name is Major Thomas Bartlett of the 24th Michigan Regiment, proud member of the Iron Brigade. But I prefer not to be called Major Thomas Bartlett or Major anything. In fact, I'm not a bellicose individual. I'm not a warlike man. In fact, I know what these bullets can do from the receiving end because I am the regimental physician, the surgeon, if you will, of the 24th. And I would like to talk to you today about victim number 2. Number 2, you're a Union boy. Phelps, New York, Clifton Springs area, Phelps, New York. You are dismounted cavalry in Buford's Corps, and you are hopping off your horse racing to that fence. And as you get close to that fence, you raise your rifle. You aim to fire at the first red you can see, and just before you level your rifle at him, bullet comes smashing in to your right arm. It spins you around 180 degrees. That saved your life the first day, that friend. You landed on your left shoulder, keeping the wounded arm in the air, which helped save you. You were attended to by your left arm. You staunched off the flow of blood from that brachial artery. You could still feel it pumping as it hit your thumb. And you knew that that sanguine fluid was pouring out with dreadful abandon from your right arm. At that very moment, a soldier passing by wordlessly knelt down, took out his bandana, his handkerchief, wrapped it around your wound above it, cinched it off just as tight as he could, patted you on the shoulder, and trot off toward the enemy. You raised your head as if to say thank you, but 2 steps later, a bullet smashed into his forehead, spraying the pink and the red and the gray into that cerulean sky and gently showering your cheek with it. Number 1, your death was not in vain. 2 steps later, you saved another man's life. Incoming wounded already? Well, I suppose the battle is done for the first day anyway. Looks like the Rebs have overtaken us. I knew this was coming. I ordered my medics to commandeer Mr. McPherson's barn. Take out the shutters. Take out the doors. Make operating tables on barrels with the doors. Make equipment and implement tables with the shutters. Get as much light in here as we can, and now my work is paying off. And I've transformed from Major Thomas Bartlett at this point to what I was really called to do with my life. And the doctor in me takes over. Right over here, table 1. What is it? Arm? And they carry you to me. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it to put your mind at ease. This is a probe, a porcelain-tipped probe, and I place it into your entry wound, and I work its way in. My hope is that I hit solid bone. My hope is that I hit the bullet. My hopes are dashed, however, when I pull it clean through your arm. I try again, wiggling around for the bone and bullet, and I find an ugly sound, and I find fragments of your humerus. Literally dozens of pieces of bone where the mini ball had hit. And I know the word is not good for you. and I issue 4 of them to you. We need to amputate. And you still lay awake. And it seemed as if you got courage, the will to live from what eventually would be the repulsive Pickett's charge that you could clearly hear from 2 miles away. And when the battle was totally over and the soldiers were retreating through the high weeds, one of them finally found you, and they brought you to me. And the medics were right. Your wounds were fatal, and I pronounced them so. Nobody could take a shot to the abdomen, cutting through that viscera, nicking that spine, and doing the damage that it did. Nobody could come back from that, and yet you did. For 2 days after being shot. Well, I pronounced it fatal, as I said, but you refused. And we had to put a feeding tube in you, and you would never again ingest food from the top down. It would always come from a bag. And ultimately, you would be sent back home to Phelps, New York, same town as number 2. And when you got to Phelps, New York, your entire life would be spent in an 8-foot by 9-foot room with one 2-foot by 2-foot window.